Hold the front page. I'm Len Topic and welcome to Press Release here on Press TV, where we find the facts, kill the spin and tell it like it is about the stories making the headlines. This week we'll be looking at tales from all around the world and sorting out the reality from the rubbish. First, roundup of the news with events which cause more questions than answers. And this week we've got a Donald Trump triple bill. Oh, he's been busy all right. We have a look at who's peeping over the fence between Iraq and Iran, even though he's been told not to. We try to work out who might be loving the trouble in Venezuela, maybe because another government there could be less trouble than those frightful socialists. And we reveal the one thing you do have to do if you want to be big friends with the US president. Threaten to start a nuclear war. Now you're speaking his language. What weirdness, what a week, what a world. Let's get down to the details and separate the political friction from the political fiction. It looks like President Trump can't stop thinking about Iran. Like a nosy neighbor, he seems determined to keep spies next door in Iraq to look over the fence and see what's going on over the border. The thing is, Iraq hasn't even given him permission to do that. It's like going into someone's house and then sitting in the back garden with a pair of binoculars, even though the owners have asked you to leave. What's strange about this is that even Donald Trump seems to agree that this is a mistake. So one of the leading critics for Donald Trump's spy plans is himself. And what's the point of all this spying? Well, Baghdad has been pretty clear about the situation. They pointed out to the Americans that it's against Iraq's own constitution to attack its neighbors from there. And hold on a moment. Wasn't stopping that sort of attack the whole point of not one but two US invasions of Iraq? Now the Iraqi president has been very polite. He suggests that maybe the US president might want to keep his own fights out of their country. Sadly, Trump looks like he's not really listening. While lots of Middle Eastern countries try to get on with each other, Iraq's uninvited houseguest wants to cause trouble over the garden fence. Donald is naughty, isn't he? What happens next depends on if he actually does carry on winding everyone up in the region. If so, there's a good chance he won't be invited back. Because when Trump and his team turn up, they have a habit of just staying on and on and on and on. Perhaps the reason they invite themselves in is because they don't get invited to visit by anyone else anymore, because you never know quite how long they're going to stay. Meanwhile, not satisfied with messing about in the Middle East, it looks like the United States is also getting its hands dirty deep down in South America. And the target this time? Crazy Caracas. Over there, Trump has apparently threatened to invade another southern neighbor. What for? Is it because that's the best way to keep democracy going? Or does it have anything to do with the fact that Venezuela has some of the largest oil reserves on planet Earth? Anyway, the Venezuelans haven't been too happy about the idea of Uncle Tom and his army showing up to make things even worse. There's another irony here. The concerns about American meddling were raised on Russian media, where it was made clear that whatever else happens in the country, the last thing a lot of Venezuelans want is a US intervention. Imagine if it was the other way round. The Venezuela political crisis has been a big problem for the country for a long time. But the US hasn't really been helpful by putting forward its own brand of interference, supporting anyone but the guy in Caracas who got elected to lead them not so long ago. Yes, we all know that as far as the White House is concerned, it's bye-bye Maduro and hello to anyone who loves the USA. And finishing off our Trump triple bill is another story of hope and irony. While getting ready to spy on Iran and march on Caracas, Donald continues to be nice to the one friend he has got in the world. Who's that? Theresa May? Not so much. Cousin Putin? Not recently. No, Trump's top chum is currently North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. He's even claimed he sees a good chance of reaching a good deal with Pyongyang over nuclear weapons. He's so positive that he clocked up agreement to another meeting with Kim in Vietnam. What's Kim Jong-un got that nobody else has got to make Trump so friendly? Simple. Nuclear weapons. Yes, he's the only other world leader who's recently threatened to use military force to fix his problems. And the irony is that the main problem facing North Korea is America. The US president has stated that both he and his Pyongyang pal are looking forward to continuing work in the interests of global peace and goodwill. So what's going on? If you're nice to Don, he doesn't want to know and threatens to leave troops all over your land. If you fire some rockets over Hawaii and blow up some atom bombs underground, then maybe Trump says, "Hey, let's meet." It seems like a rather strange message to send out to the rest of the world. What can we expect the future to hold? Well, Trump has noted that when it comes to the Korean Peninsula, we have 40,000 troops in South Korea. It's very expensive, but I have no plans. I've never even discussed removing them. So he knows the price tag, but he doesn't want to stop the spend. Which means that, logically, even if North Korea does give up its nuclear weapons and tells millions of its citizens that they're not soldiers anymore, the US will still keep its troops there just for fun. What for? There can only be one reason. When Donald does go on holiday in wonderful North Korea, the US Army can stop everyone else wanting to leave South Korea to join him in the north. Maybe the troops could even build a wall. And as usual, I'll make some predictions about what could happen in the weeks ahead. Firstly, Trump's spies will look over the border into Iran and report back the fact that Tehran has no plans to invade Iraq, Venezuela, or anywhere else. Meanwhile, Venezuela will look over the border to America and report back that Washington has real plans of invading Iraq, Venezuela, and everywhere else. And all the while, following the wise actions of Kim Jong-un in North Korea, everyone else will pretend they have nuclear weapons just so that they can be friends with Donald. That's it for this week. Thanks for joining me, and join me for next time on Press Release here on Press TV. The show that takes the political fiction out of the political friction. Hold the front page, but don't trust it. Trust me.